my new board. Okay, I'm Dylan Longbottom. I'm the shaper of my brand, Dylan Surfboards, and I've been shaping for 20 years now, and I'm from Kiama. I started shaping down there. Basically, I've been a professional free surfer, big wave, air surfer for 25 years now with Billabong, which has been so cool. I've travelled the world shooting for magazines and videos, but basically before that I was sponsored by Nev, and which was so cool. But I was actually on the side. I was a bricklayer, and I had to do my trade, but my dream was to be a shaper because my dad was in and around the factories. So one day when I was 20 years ago, I said to my missus, I want to learn to shape. She was like, go for it. So I bought my planer and made some tools, and away I went. And my first board was my most favourite ever board. I got second Aussie ride in the first air show in Australia, and shots, it was the best board ever, and I continued shaping from that day, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. My biggest mentors, I've had so many over the years shaping. I've been really lucky, to work with Simon Anderson back when I was in Sydney, and some of the smaller guys like Egg Robinson, where I first started on the South Coast, and Ralph Riddell. I learned a lot from them guys, but probably my biggest mentor was Jason Stevenson. I worked with him for about 9 years, and I just always loved his boards and his shaping, and yeah, I just learned a lot from him, and he was a great mentor for me for sure. The surfer-shaper relationship, I think, is super critical these days, especially for me, because I'm shaping my team rider Lucas Chumbo, for example. He's one of the best at Nazare and Maverick, so I've got to really get his boards right, whether it's towing or paddling, 10'6" paddling into giant things, or the tow boards, or the same for Laurie Towner, who's been my rider for like 15 years now, for whether paddling at Cloud Break or towing Chopu or paddling Chopu. So I just got to get what he's feeling and what I'm designing and shaping, and just kind of combine and make sure we're both on the same wavelength. I was super lucky as a child. My father was a glasser and a part owner of Gordon Smith, G&S, the famous brand, and we were in the Cronulla area. And at that stage, all the pros were surfer shapers, and they all were sponsored by G&S. So it was Mark Richards, Michael Peterson, PT, Peter Townend. PT actually lived with my uncle and auntie, so we were very close. He was like family. My dad was the main glasser there, so I was the little grom skating on the front and in the surf shop, just looking at posters and just in awe of the shapers there, which were all the legends back then. So yeah, it was pictures of Shark Island, and then it was like Jim Banks was there shaping, and Ockie was just the grom working in the surf shop then, and I was just the little grom, So I was very lucky to be in around that era at G&S, and yeah, that was my dream, to become a shaper. Yeah, so I shape in Australia on the South Coast, down in Port Kembla. I shape most of the year in Bali, just near my shop in Canggu. I shape near Nazare in Portugal, and I shape in Peru at Lima.
Favorite place in the world?
My favourite place in the world, I've got a lot of favourite places, but I've always had this thing with Chopu. It's one of my places I like to go and cook most of the most amazing, biggest barrels of my life. And I've stayed with the same family there for 20 years. So for surfing, for shaping, I got two. It's obviously Bali. I love shaping Bali, and I get to surf amazing waves and jump off islands and chase swell and eat good food. It's warm, and now I've got this love with Portugal, and it's got Nazare and it's got slabs for me. All the guys I work with are all surfboards, nicest people in the world, one of the best teams, and yeah, I like going there. Everything about Portugal, I love it. Wasn't so much a wipeout, it was getting caught inside at Nazare last year. My mate went to save me and just missed me on the pickup ski, and then this 60-footer broke right in front of me. I was on a tow board, so I couldn't paddle, and then when I got over the first 50-footer, the next one was bigger and it was like 60 foot, and it was like top to bottom, the peak, and it broke, and I was there. So I pulled, I was like, where are these things? And because we grew up surfing big, we didn't have these things. I was like, where are these things? But then as it hit, I couldn't get under the water, and it just broke on me, and it pretty much tried to explode me. And it was a 2-wave hold down, and with things on, and then it was hectic. It was like arms, I was just like, I was lucky it didn't knock me out. It was pretty intense. The most frightening thing I could ever, it was my biggest nightmare all come to fruition, and I had to switch my mind into survival mode. It was like, I'm getting shivers now, like thinking about what I had to go through, man. It was fucking heavy, man. That's definitely by far the worst wipeout position, and I was so lucky to survive that. Yeah, so for me, I started off, you know, in the late 90s. I was all hand shaving with planing, and it was difficult, you know. And it was I made some amazing ones and then some crap ones, and it was really hard. But we'd done that for years, and it just taught me so much about shaping. And I'd done that for years, and then to transition back probably around the mid-2000s to machines. And then it was a whole different thing, and then I had to measure up my boards I planed and learn how to make files, and then learn how to use the machine and programs. It was a big thing mentally for me, but it was a really good thing, and it was good because I was lucky enough there was no machines when I first learned, so I learned the real way. But now it's so good to have machines and be able to have that. For me, because I travel to Portugal to shape, to South America, to Bali all the time. It's so good for me to be able to take my files and my hand tools and be able to make the best boards in all the countries.